I think we can all agree that studying is hard. And if we have an exam coming up and we have to read a bucket load of syllabus in a short amount of time, that's even harder. We can't read or cover everything in the syllabus, but in order to get good grades and clear exams, we need to know quite a lot of information. So where do we start and what do we do? Think about the last time this happened to you. What did you do? What was your process and what was your result? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Abbas Ali, a full-time orthopedic surgeon and a faculty of orthopedics and a part-time YouTuber. Today we'll talk about the 80-20 rule, which should help you identify things that you need to focus on to get maximum results from the efforts you put in. Hopefully, by the end of this video, you might just be able to decrease 80% of your workload and improve your scores. So that should leave you with more time to do things that give you pleasure rather than slogging 24/7. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Okay, so what is this 80-20 concept and how can it make a difference in your life? See, here is the story behind the concept. Not everyone knows this story even if they know about the rule. There was an Italian businessman named Vilfredo Pareto who later in his 40s became an economist. It is said that one day while he was in his garden, he noticed something about his peas. He noticed that 20% of his pea pods gave him 80% of healthy peas. That is, 20% of his crop was giving him 80% of healthy produce. So he started thinking about it and he observed that this uneven distribution in nature was actually reflecting in other areas as well. For example, 80% land in Italy was owned by 20% of the population. He started exploring more and noticed similarities in other sectors as well, like 80% of production was generated by 20% of companies in an industry. So he came up with a rough generalization that 80% of results come from just 20% of actions or effort. That's the 80-20 rule or the Pareto Principle. Now this obviously is not accurate by any means, but people started to use it as a rule of thumb in different areas. And you could probably see it yourself. For example, if you're a student, sometimes that easy concept you learned really quickly gets you the most marks in an exam, and the tough stuff you slaved over to understand doesn't make much difference in your preparation. Not everything that is good needs to be hard to get. That is why my videos are absolutely free. I think that is a good reason for you to hit the thumbs up button and share this video with your friends once it's over. Also, you may only be wearing 20% of your wardrobe 80% of the time. I do that. I have some very comfortable clothes and I keep coming back to them even though my wife keeps getting me a lot of new stuff. And girls, I'm sure you will relate to this. How many pairs of shoes do you have? And how many do you use regularly? Write down in the comments and let me know. I bet you wear only 20% of those 80% of your time. Am I right? Tell me, am I right or not? Now, when you talk to the toppers or watch their interviews, each one of them, whether knowingly or unknowingly, is using this Pareto principle. They're all aware that we have a fixed amount of time in a day, and so we will not be able to finish everything. There will always be that topic to read, that subject to finish, that table to revise. There will always be more stuff to do and we will never be able to do it. You just can't get everything done. Like, I will not be able to operate daily, make videos and podcast and still spend time with family. That's not gonna happen. So how do you draw that line? When is enough really enough? How do you decide to do something and ignore the rest? Honestly, that's where you use the 80-20 rule. It basically helps you figure out the important things you need to be working on to get the maximum outcomes and use the remaining time to just essentially live. So let's see how you can apply this in your life. See, if you are a student and have to cover a lot of syllabus for the exam, understand that no exam will ask 100% of the content. And therefore, there will be this uneven distribution of marks when it comes to subjects and topics. And because of this, not all subjects are equal. And within subjects also, not all topics will be equal. So instead of trying to do the impossible and trying to do everything, use the Pareto principle and understand which subjects are more important, and in that subject, which topic is heavily scrutinized by your examiner. And these are the topics that will most likely show up in your exam. Try to find out what these 20% topics in each subject are that are going to be asked 80% of the time. Focus on those first and chuck everything else for later. Now, it may not always be 80-20, it can be 70-30, 60-40, 90-10, whatever it may be, just tweak it based on your scenario. Now, in tests also, friends, when you can't seem to improve your score, focus on your weak subjects and try to read 20% of those important topics before you do anything else. That way, you will see maximum gain in less time. I will give you an example. See, in MS or DNB orthopedic practical exam, examination of the hip joint and the theory around it is of extreme value. It falls in that important 20%. And more often than not, your passing or failing your practical exam honestly depends on that. So if you come to the exam hall without preparing for the hip joint examination, you are most likely going to fail. Now, the biggest question I get from a lot of students is, how do we know what those high yield 20% topics are? What is that 20% that will give you such a huge return? It's very simple. They are right in front of you. Every previously asked question from the recent past is a guide to that list. Every question bank that you go out and pick up now has been designed around those high yield topics. If you don't know of any question bank like that, and if you're a NEETPG or a next exam aspirant, I highly recommend trying out Marrow Question Bank. It has an amazing set of questions that teaches you many complex and important topics that has a high likelihood of showing up in your exam. And if you're a NEET UG or IIT aspirant, I suggest checking out Basidia. It also has an excellent set of collection of questions that works on AI to predict the likelihood of important topics showing up in your exams. So start doing these questions, and by doing them, you will see the trend and you will start getting the idea of these 20% topics very clearly. Many toppers call this the retrograde technique or retrograde method of approaching the exam. What they do is they check out the questions, see what the examiner is focusing on, and strengthen these areas first. It's as simple as that, and only after that they move on to other areas. So from now onwards, stop asking me what to read and what are the important topics. Just have a look at the previously asked questions and map your preparation around it. Try this for a few weeks and come back and tell me in the comments if it has worked for you or not. Honestly, you can try this for theory exams, practical exams, and even entrance exams. But you have to be realistic. You may not end up being number one, but you will definitely be better than many, unless you're ready to put in that extra 80% of effort to get that marginal 20% gain. So in summary, apply this rule for everything you can't seem to find time for. You will start focusing on things that are more rewarding, and you will never be confused regarding where to start and what to read. I'm also kind of predicting only 20% of you will actually apply what I talked about in your daily life. If you found this video useful and if you want more such videos, be among that awesome 80% and click the thumbs up button and share this video with your friends. Leave a comment down below. I love hearing from you. We can continue the discussion there. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing and don't forget to click on the bell icon. I will see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.